Oh, soggy foot on the trailer. Welcome back to an episode of Crystal Lake Fishing. Today we got Drake, we got Drake's boat, we got Matt, not high schooler Matt that we dive with all the time, different Matt. And we're heading out to the wrecks to shoot some big mangoes, some APs. We don't know if we're going to be able to find a bunch of APs, so we're going to rely on the mangoes. They're pretty deep, like 90 plus, all of them. So I'm pretty locked in. There's also a really big storm. I'll show that here. It's about to show up offshore. So I'm all rain geared up before I get my wetsuit on, and I will see you guys out on the water. Welcome back underwater, everybody. I am doing this instead of getting ready for a midterm that I'm supposed to take in an hour, but I haven't uploaded in a minute, so I'm not too mad about it. So today we're out with Drake and Matt doing a commercial trip. We left at an ungodly hour, and we're out at the wrecks trying to take advantage of some early morning AP stuff. They were deep. This was later in the summer, so they were all 90 plus feet. This dive was like 95 feet. It was like a minute 35, a minute 40 seconds. And we only had a chance to target them even this deep for a couple hours. Then after that, we had to head to some different stuff. We were getting rained on a lot. We were having trouble finding the fish. We ended up putting together a good day. There's the school of APs, trying to find the biggest one because I know that I'm not going to get too many opportunities for them. I'm sinking down, looking for those bigger ones that are down slightly deeper, but they're being kind of spooky, so I have to be super chill, kind of look around, see which one's going to present a shot to me. Pick that guy. He takes off. I head back up to the surface. One of those dives that just sees so much life, and that's really cool to have a fishery that healthy even towards the end of the commercial season, seeing a huge school of APs, all those AJs, etc. Really nice to see all that stuff. Get to the surface, do my hook breaths, and you can see that Matt had already grabbed my shooting line and started fighting the fish. Took a while to fight this guy up he ran deep. He ran like way past 120, 130. Sharks started going after him on the way up, but you're diving with this crew, the sharks, become a little bit less of a problem because they're just so experienced around him. Fight this guy up, and you could hear me barking at the sharks. That also helps spook them a lot, but really just putting a body down there near the fish, guarding it, is one of the best ways to keep the sharks off of it. Pulling that fish up, making sure I'm not getting caught or wrapped in that shooting line, or the reel line I should say. Pulling him up to me, getting that job done. That bull shark with the chunk out of him kept revisiting us a lot. He's got like a chunk out of his nose from a prop or a power head or something like that, and he just kept swimming around, making passes. I took the GoPro off my head and got some really good shots of him, and a couple of those are in the intro to this video. But yeah, he would not leave us alone. That is my AP. These guys are really hard to gut, which is something I haven't talked about on this channel, because the bottom of their body is so thin. You really have to be super precise with how you gut them. But that is my first and only AP of the day in the boat. Then I reload, and Drake and Matt each get an AP. I think Matt got 2, or Drake got 2. I can't remember. It's been a minute. It's been since July. That's Matt on his way down. And on this dive, he shoots one. There's him on the way up with it. It's taken off. Drake's going down for it. I'm on the surface, check in to make sure he's all good, and then Drake takes the backup shot once we get it closer to the surface. Not actually sure how necessary that backup shot was, but commercial trip, and Drake's got a bunch of gunsling on the boat, so it couldn't hurt. There's Drake with an AP, and he is on his way up with it, and I am on my way down, going to see if I can meet it halfway. I see it there. He's got a really good holding shot on it. I don't see any sharks really, so I start to swim past it to see if there's anything following it up. And on my way up, I think about a backup shot, but it's close enough to the surface, and Drake has a really good holding shot that I don't really find a backup shot to be super necessary. Yeah, I think Drake shoots one other AP other than this one. But that ends the morning activities going in. So now we're heading in a little to like 100 feet to try to find some mangrove snapper. Look at that pot of dolphins, is so cool.
Look at that.
Rehydrating while we're going kind of slow. Jump in. And this spot is, I believe, like 102 feet. 101, 102, something like that. Lots of exhausting dives. So what ends up happening is after this spot, I take a like 2-hour nap because of how deep I was diving all morning, which is good timing because after this spot, it started raining super hard because of that storm that I was talking about. But on my way down in this spot, you got to take the descent and ascent from these really deep dives. I take them pretty slow. You don't want to kick super hard because then you're just using up excess energy and not being as efficient as you would otherwise be if you let gravity do the work. That's one of the misconceptions about deeper dives, that you have to kick hard or kick fast in order to have time. What tends to be more the case is that deeper dives are slightly longer because you're letting gravity sink you once you get past neutral buoyancy. So I'm not even all the way on bottom. I'm probably at 98 or something. I see this lionfish. I'm like, you know what? I'll take one. Even though this is a commercial fish. I just got down there and I didn't see any life other than those lionfish. So it's like, I'm going to grab one, put it in the boat. Drake and Matt each got a couple mangoes off this spot. I saw a red grouper on the dive after this one, but I forgot that they were in commercial season but not recreational season, so that was on me. But this spot was largely not what we were looking for. Yeah, head up to the surface here, get my lionfish. Kind of a weak prize for diving that deep. And then we're like trying to deal with it on the boat. Freaky little thing. They taste really good though. And there's that rain I was talking about. No lightning though, so we just kind of idled through it, and I took a nap. Once we got to the other side, we ran. And this was the most fruitful spot of the day. We each got a few big mangoes. Drake was killing it. Drake got like 5 or 6. And Matt also got a good number of them. Towards the end of the day, I was kind of struggling to get down because of how many big dives we had taken, and it was at this point almost, 3 or 4 p.m. We had started at 4 a.m. we had gotten to the ramp at 4:30, 4:45, then headed out, started diving at probably 7:30. Really long day of diving. So I wasn't able to get all the way to bottom towards the end of the day. These few dives I do. This one I didn't actually have to because it was the first dive on the Chum Slick. They were all just so high that I was able to just pick one off right off the chum slick right there. Really nice fish. You'll see here though, a Goliath comes up from the bottom. This spot's about 90 feet. You'll see that Goliath right there going for it, but he didn't really mean it. He didn't really want the smoke. He wasn't going for like a real pass at it, so he probably didn't even get within 10 feet of it. Probably within 10 feet, but not much closer. And that guy is my first mango of the day. That is a nice one though, because we're diving deeper. These are quality mangoes. Get another dive here. This is a really scary dive. Basically, this fish wraps my shooting line around my legs for a second while I'm on the way up, and that is the most scary thing that you can have happen to you on any dive, but especially on a dive that's this deep at the end of a day where we're literally like 3 or 4 dives after this, I was not able to get to bottom in this spot. I was just hovering above bottom and then coming back up. So to be that close to where I'm like less comfortable and to have the line wrapped around my leg is like nightmare scenario. But fortunately, as you'll see, it ends up becoming not too big of an issue. There's my fish. I'm able to just shoot it and head straight back up. And as I'm heading up here, he's doing these like death spirals, and for just a second he swims behind me, and when he does, right, it wraps around my leg just barely right there. And I didn't really know what to do, so I pulled him through so that the line was just, everything that was wrapped was just up in my crotch, so it wasn't obstructing my kicking. But it was a moment for sure that it was like kind of scary. If I hadn't pulled all the line up towards my crotch, I would have been in trouble.
Woo! That was a naughty mango.
That was a big one.
He wrapped himself around my legs.
He did.
Whew.
Yeah, got that little guy, and after that, it was much harder for me to execute good dives. Get down on this last dive. This was my last dive, like actually to bottom here, and I'm diving down the chum slick, or what's left of it, I should say. We're basically out of chum at this point. And we dumped like the rest of the chum to see if we could call some stuff up, and it kind of worked, but none of these were like the size that I was looking for. Like you can see some mangoes flitting in and out of the screen here, but I'm heading to bottom hopefully so that a more quality fish will be sitting at the bottom of the chum slick. And I get there, and instead of being greeted by a big mango, I'm greeted by a Goliath, which is currently not in view, but I could hear it. There was a nice mango there. I'm like trying to line up on it. It was flitting in and out, partially because of the Goliath that's around there. There's a lionfish right there that I almost go for, but I just head up. And that was the end of my day.
Alright, we made it in. I slept the entire way in. Whoops. But we unloaded the fish and everything. And now it's time to go. Good day, Drake. I'll see ya. Thanks, Matt.
What's up?
Alright. I will see you guys in the next video.
That's so cool.